think there's two good pressure points. There's this finger and this finger.
Back in the day, I used to put this middle finger on the top, and I think just as my hands grew, this just felt right.
The way I do it, my hands aren't the biggest. I go ring finger on the end, and pinky, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 down, in between.
So I go second and fourth, and actually sometimes it'll end up on the fifth, I've noticed.
I put my ring finger in the laces, that's the only one. It's pretty spread out. I usually keep a little air pocket down here.
I think the bigger the hands, the easier it is to grip the football and let it rip. So for me, I try to put this pointer finger right near the tip of the football and let it spin.
You gotta hold your own.
It's one of the most subtle but critical connections in sports. A quarterback's grip on the football. And from rookies to seasoned veterans, in the NFL, grips are a unique window into every quarterback's story.
We're going to start the DVD off by talking about how quarterbacks hold the grip of the football.
If you don't have a proper grip, it's virtually impossible to get the good spiral and the accuracy and everything that you need.
My dad wanted me to play football. He wanted me to be the quarterback. He bought some old VHS tapes of some old dude that I couldn't remember the name. Couldn't tell you why we were watching it, but my dad wanted me to watch it.
Okay, we want to make sure, okay, that there's space in between the football, okay, and his palm.
My uncle taught me, how to hold a ball when I was young, and it really hasn't changed throughout my career. These two bottom fingers, the fourth and fifth, are on the second and fourth lace. Really, my pinky kind of sits right in between the two of those, and then my thumb is down here underneath, and I always try and leave a little bit of space between my palm and the ball. I like to be able to see kind of a little space in between there, and I think that allows you to feel the ball a little bit more, to be able to manipulate the ball a little bit more to the left or the right. If I can find the ring finger on that second lace, I think everything else just falls into place.
The throw to the end zone, and it's caught! This is a laser shot by Ryan.
The perfect grip often starts with the perfect manicure.
My mom always would tell us when we were young, too, not to bite your nails, because that forefinger, you want a little bit on the end of it to get that last little bit for a spiral. So that's how she got me to stop biting my nails when I was young.
These two are the last two to come off the ball. So when you throw it and it's coming out of your hand, those last two are going to create the spiral.
Gripping the laces and letting it fly becomes second nature for every quarterback. At least until the weather turns nasty.
Well, the good thing is we get to practice outside quite a bit, and I think, going up to Wisconsin helped too. Playing at the University of Wisconsin when it's snowing and it's raining and all that.
I actually think snow is a great advantage. The defenders are very slippery. Gotcha. So when they're moving slower, it's good for me. The windy ones are the hard ones. We had a windy one against the Giants, and every time we were throwing a certain direction, it would hit the wind, and it would just...
It's not just weather conditions that affect the QB's grip. All-out blitzes also require a bit of schoolyard improvisation.
There was another Houdini to make this play possible.
You don't always have time to find the laces. I think sometimes you catch, I always give it like one quick turn. If I get the laces, I get it. If you don't, then the ball just has to come out.
Every day we'll have a handful of throws that we're going to catch, no laces on the ball, and throw to a spot. And you get used to it. Oddly enough, I think your hand ends up getting on to about the same spot of the ball.
When Drew Brees was injured in week 2, his return came down to the all-pro quarterback giving his surgically repaired grip a resounding thumbs up.
Football is the one where you really have to extend your thumb all the way around into a pretty large angle. Look at the spread between pinky and thumb. That's hard to do, and then to provide the type of pressure that's needed with that thumb to then transfer all that energy from ground force and torque. And so that's probably the hardest part, was just getting it to where I could grip the ball again and be able to guide the ball, maneuver the ball.
Each grip is a unique snapshot of quarterbacking DNA. Hall of Famer Troy Aikman liked the laces to be in the middle of his hand. Hall of Famer Kurt Warner and Lamar Jackson both put their index fingers at the very tip of the ball. And because of his baseball background, reigning MVP Patrick Mahomes palms the ball. Even though his unorthodox style goes against what most quarterback coaches teach.
a lot of the young guys, they have such big hands, and I have pretty big hands too, but, you know, their ability, I think, to transition the football and flick the football almost like a baseball is, you know, some of those young guys are spinning the ball so good.
I think flicking the wrist is everything, you know. Some people say you gotta flick the booger off your finger, you know, so it's one of those things that you gotta really wrist it, and I think that helps the deep ball as well when you're really flicking your wrist and letting it ride.
I didn't love the visual of that, but needless to say, it's an interesting topic because it comes down to such detail. I mean, just every centimeter matters when you're talking about this. So, Matt, we've got a former quarterback here with us. Tell us about your grip.
Listen, most quarterbacks, they have a small football when they're growing up. I had a small football. I would put these 3 fingers over the laces. And then when I was a kid, I was a huge NFL football fan. I would cut out pictures of Sports Illustrated of all the quarterbacks. And I'd hang them on my wall, and I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, well, this is this guy's grip, this is that guy's grip. So I actually changed my grip. I was in college, and the guy ahead of me had the grip, which was the same grip that I saw Brett Favre have and all these guys. Only this ring finger is over the lace. Only that ring finger. And then that pinky slides right into that groove right there. That was a real change for me going to this grip. And I tried it out. I got a lot more spin, a lot more spiral on my ball. And then I just started noticing that this was the most popular grip of all the quarterbacks that I looked up to in the NFL. So I made it my own. And so not everybody's hands are the same size. Like Brett Favre has giant Randy Moss size hands. But the common denominator is that one ring finger is the only finger over the laces. The other 2 are above the laces, and then that pinky slides into a groove where it's comfortable. So if you see my grip, same thing. Only that ring finger is the ball is over that laces section of it, and then that pinky slides right into that groove. But now there's some great Hall of Fame quarterbacks that have different
That's
grips.
not real.
This
That is
is
not
real.
real.
Troy Aikman. There are certain guys, Troy Aikman, Kurt Warner, Jeff George, that can spin it, but they have a different grip. And so I tell young quarterbacks all the time, try it out. Try out what these other guys have tried and find out what works best for you. But for me, what most guys have in the NFL, which is just that one finger over the laces, that clearly works for me. I don't know what works for you.
No, I'm not a quarterback, but playing with so many quarterbacks, knowing that I've been in different type of weather conditions, I know that the ball does come out different. You know, where you see a lot of quarterbacks during the summertime, they're out there with no gloves, other than my man Teddy Two Gloves.
Yes, of course.
But when you look at the guys like Aaron Rodgers, when you look at Tom, when it gets colder, they put that single glove on that hand. And I think it's just to grip the ball, because once it gets cold, for me as a pass catcher, the ball does move a little bit, and I think it has to do with their grip.
You say that you're not a quarterback, but I've seen you throw pregame when we do Monday Night Countdown together. So let's see this grip, because
I'm gonna show you this Uncle Rico grip. Let me see. Let me see. All right.
Oh, we're going 3?
Yeah,
oh, no,
okay.
2.
So I would just, if I was going to correct Randy's grip just a little bit, I would just slide this pinky right into that groove.
That feels weird.
It does feel weird, but you'll find that you can throw it a lot tighter and a lot farther, just like that.
Uncle Rico, don't be that
No, I'm not trying to get in trouble in here. Not looking through.
Okay.
We've been told before.
Rex is like, I'm open, no Rex.
Interesting stuff. I'm wondering how many kids that are watching this today will go out and some quarterbacks out there and move it around.
Here's the danger, though, because like in a pitcher, you want to throw a fastball, you want to barely be having your fingers on the ball. You still got to have ball security with that other left hand.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Try it at home. See what happens. Give all the credit right here.